From the Detroit Free Press, I'm Kayla Cockrell with today's Free Press Voice Briefing. It's Thursday, December 7th, 2023.
I'm Paul Egan reporting for the Detroit Free Press. Many employers have had trouble filling jobs since the pandemic started in 2020. The state of Michigan is no exception. That's why a state panel is considering making signing bonuses permanent for certain hard-to-fill jobs. During a pilot project last year, the state paid $165,000 in signing bonuses to 128 new employees. The eligible jobs are information technology, occupational safety advisors, and auditors and financial analysts. The Michigan Civil Service Commission will consider making the bonuses permanent at a meeting on December 13th. Other state employees, such as corrections officers and nurses, are also eligible for signing bonuses under state programs approved earlier.
I'm Kylie Martin for the Detroit Free Press. MSU scientists have unearthed a new discovery in a 144-year-old science experiment. It all goes back to 1879, when botanist William Beall was a professor at Michigan Agricultural College, now known as MSU. He wanted to help local farmers deal with their weeds, so he decided to conduct an experiment to see how long seeds of common weeds could survive in seed banks, only to germinate years later. He filled 20 glass bottles with soil and 50 seeds each of 23 different weed species, then buried the bottles in a secret location on MSU's campus. Every 5 years, Beall went back and unearthed one of the bottles, planted the seeds, and waited for them to germinate. After his retirement in 1910, Beall's experiment has been passed down to professor after professor to keep the experiment alive. Later, periods between the digs were extended to 10 years and then 20 years, drawing the experiment out until 2100. While most of the seeds eventually died off, one species called Verbascum blattaria, or moth mullein, has consistently germinated despite the growing age of the seeds. In the 2000 dig, moth mullein sprouted per usual, but scientists Jan Sievert and Frank Tilevsky noticed that 2 of the 25 plants that grew didn't look quite right. They hypothesized that the 2 plants were hybrids, but at the time, they didn't have the technology to confirm nor deny it. During the most recent dig in 2021, which was delayed a year due to the pandemic, moth mullein grew once again, and the same phenomenon occurred. But this time, the scientists were able to use modern technology to sequence the genomes to prove that the odd plants were in fact hybrids between moth mullein and common mullein. Now that their findings were published last month in the American Journal of Botany, the scientists look forward to what new discoveries the next dig might find in 2040.
I'm Andrew Burkle with the Free Press Sports Department, and tonight is the night, folks. Former MVP Patrick Kane will make his debut for the Detroit Red Wings when they host the San Jose Sharks at Little Caesars Arena. You could argue that Kane's debut is coming at the absolute perfect time. The Wings have won 3 in a row in 6 of their last 7 games, and are just playing some really good hockey right now. But as well as the Wings are playing, the grind of the season is starting to catch up with them a bit. Red Wings coach Derek Lalonde said Wednesday that he thinks they'll be able to find someone to come out of the lineup who physically needs a break, rather than having to go with the healthy scratch route. Captain Dylan Larkin just missed a couple games last week, and there are surely other guys dealing with injuries as well who could use a day or 2 off. So adding Kane to the lineup will certainly be a nice little boost. The other thing that makes the timing good is the team that they're playing. The Sharks are by far the worst team in the NHL this year. Their minus 52 goal differential is easily the worst in the league, 23 goals behind the Chicago Blackhawks, who are second from bottom. So if everything goes by the book, the Sharks should provide a nice opportunity for Kane to get back on the ice against relatively easy competition. Now remember, Kane is recovering from a hip resurfacing surgery this offseason, so don't necessarily expect him to immediately be the Patrick Kane that you remember. That's not to say that he won't have an impact. All indications are that he's feeling great, and that's in large part because of the surgery that he got from Dr. Edwin Sue, who spoke with our health reporter Kristen Jordan-Shamus and detailed why this surgery was the best option for Kane, but may not be for you if you struggle with your hip. Be sure to check out that story on our website at freep.com/sports.
For more stories from the Detroit Free Press, be sure to check out freep.com. That's FREEP.com.